I'm Sally Sampson, and today I'm really excited because I have a very special guest here with me. This past Ramadan, undoubtedly one of the biggest TV shows was لعبة Newton, or Newton's Cradle. This was a TV show that people tuned into religiously. They could not stop watching it, wanting to find out what was going to happen next. And it followed a pregnant henna, played by the incredible Mona Zeki, as she goes to the United States and tries to do everything she can so that her baby is born there and gets the American citizenship. She leaves behind her husband, Hazem, played by the incredible Mohammed Mamdouh, and falls into all sorts of trouble, so much trouble, and meets so many characters along the way. And one of the big characters that she meets that undoubtedly stole our hearts was Big Zee. Big Zee is played by Adam Elsharkawy, and I'm really excited that Adam is with me here today. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Sal. I'm more excited, by the way, that I'm here today with you.
Did you like my introduction?
I love the introduction. I was like, this girl came prepared. I love it. Yes,
I did.
Let's do this.
So Big Zee. Big Zee, do people call you Big Zee in the street now?
That's all I get. That's all I get. It's
Right?
like they don't even know my real name, but it's all good. It's all love. I really appreciate it. So I'll be Big Zee for a while. It's easy.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So, all right, so this is a little bit of backstory for everyone who doesn't know. But I actually met you on the set of لعبة Newton.
I remember that day clearly.
Yes. It was really exciting. I was really privileged to be a part of the series in a very small way, and we met through a mutual friend, another equally talented actress, Nancy Alameddin, who played Rana, Mu'nis's sister on the series.
Yes.
And I remember sitting there and thinking, I had like this hunch. I thought, you know, I really think that this is going to be a really big deal. I think that this TV show is going to do great things. And I remember we were having a chat about it, and you said to me, you know, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think it's going to be a big deal too.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. You never know really what's going to happen.
You never know. And then, of course, you wrapped up filming, you know, right before Ramadan, and you flew off to LA, which is where you live.
Exactly, yeah.
And then it premiered.
Yes.
So what was it like for you in LA, watching the show premiere, seeing the buzz and the excitement, and the fans growing?
So it was really interesting because obviously in LA, like, I saw the social media numbers growing, and like I get recognized here and there, but it didn't give me really a full understanding of the degree of success that the show had. It wasn't until I really got to Egypt that I understood, like, okay, the show did well. The show did really, really well. Yeah. So in LA, I was very easy. I was just like living my normal life, you know?
So what's it been like since you've been back then? Like, because you were here relatively unknown while you were filming, and then you've come back as a star.
What's it been like since I've come back? It's been really fun. I cannot lie. Like, it's just, every day's a new experience. You're meeting new people. Everyone's been very, very kind.
Yeah.
So it's been great since I've been back. I don't even know how to put it in words for you, Sally.
Well, I can imagine it's every actor's dream. You know, it's that thing that you work really hard towards, and then when it happens, nothing prepares you for it.
Nothing prepares you for it. Nothing, for sure, nothing prepares you for it. It's definitely been like, look, I love that people receive me well. I love that people receive the show well. And it definitely has been a dream of mine to reach this level of success. Like you said, it's every actor's dream. But at the same time, I'm just ready to get to the next project.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to keep that going. And as an actor, you know how it is. I want a script in my hands, put me in front of the camera, and let's
go.
Let's go.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's take a step back then first, because I think when people see success, they think it happened overnight.
Right.
You know, so I'm just a little bit interested, and I really want, you know, everyone to know a little bit more about your backstory. So you're Egyptian American, right?
Right.
How old were you when you left Egypt? Were you born in Egypt? Were you born in the States? What's your background?
Yeah. So born in Egypt, left when I was like 4 years old, went out to Anaheim, California.
Okay.
And
isn't that where Disneyland is?
That is where Disneyland is.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not be an actor?
How could you not? See, listen. Anaheim is a very interesting place. I don't want to speak badly about Anaheim. I grew up there. I had a lot of beautiful experiences. But to be honest with you, I'm very grateful that we moved from here to Anaheim because we moved to a place with a lot of other immigrants.
Right.
So I was right away introduced to a lot of different cultures, and like gaining those perspectives, I feel like helped me progress in life quickly. Does that kind of make sense?
For sure.
Yeah, so after living in Anaheim for a while, when I was about 21 years old, left my parents' house. I actually told them that, funny story. I'm gonna embarrass myself here. I'm gonna embarrass myself here. So I actually was like, I finished school I was at community college for a little bit. I finished school and I was supposed to transfer to a school in LA.
Right.
And so I told my parents, like, I'm transferring to the school in LA. I did not want to transfer to school in LA. I had no intention of going to the school, but I was like, I'm transferring to the school in LA, and I need to be in LA, so I wanted to move to LA.
Okay, because that's where you have to be as an actor, right? Like, that's where everything's happening.
That's the hub. You can't, like, be outside of that. And then even Anaheim, as close as it is, excuse me, as close as it is to LA, it's far. You know what I mean? It's like an hour and a half every day. I wasn't about to make that commute.
That's like Nasser City to 6 October.
Exactly.
It's not a big deal.
And so you know the vibes. Like,
I
it's
know
not,
the feeling.
it's not an easy commute to do every day. So I told my parents that I was gonna go to this college. They already knew that I was not gonna do that.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know, they were just nervous. They were scared, like, and it took me a while to understand that they were just scared for my future, and like, the world is chaotic.
Yeah.
Life is tough, life's hard, it's not
you were
easy.
very young as well.
Exactly, 21, you don't know anything at 21.
But you think you do.
You think you know everything, and especially like I'm a hot-blooded like young man, like I think I'm gonna go take over the world. You get humbled so quick.
It's the Egyptian genes, right?
Exactly, it's in the DNA, it's in the DNA. So got out there, got humbled very quickly, very quickly. Life is not easy in LA. Living in LA is not easy. There's tons of people that want to do the same thing, you know what I mean? It's like you said, it's like, it's a huge dream.
It's the hub, it's the place.
It's exactly. So went out to LA with my best friend. It was literally like a phone call. I was like, hey, Adrian, we got to do this acting thing, and we got to be out in LA. The next week, we're looking at apartments. 2 weeks later, we move into a spot, and then everything kind of went from there.
You're like henna on the show.
Literally, literally. You said you're like henna on the show. I didn't even make that connection, but
Yes.
Exactly.
Chasing a dream, right?
Chasing a dream.
At all costs.
Exactly.
So, when did you know that you wanted to be an actor?
When did I know? So I always like, I always loved art, and I've always been like kind of like a charismatic kid. Like, I've always wanted to be in the, not like wanted to be in the spotlight, but it was easy for me to be in the spotlight.
Okay.
Like, I did not mind being the guy that like made people laugh, or like, you know what I mean?
Spotlight, in the spotlight.
Exactly, I was very comfortable in it. But when I was younger, I think my parents saw that before I did. So my dad was really trying to push me to do that when I was younger.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, let's try it, you know what I mean? But I had other interests. Like, I was playing football, American football.
Okay. Yeah, you can't just say football here.
Exactly.
You have to specify.
American football, US American football. Yeah, so I was very focused on that. And obviously, young man, I just want to hang out with my friends and like live my life.
Right.
So yeah, my dad really pushed for me at that time, but I was like, whatever about it. And then it wasn't until, again, like I hit 21 years old that I was like, all right, let's take it really seriously. Actually, that's a lie too.
Why?
Because 21, I was like, all right, I'm gonna be an actor, but like for that first year, it was more like, all right, it's me and my best friend. We just got an apartment in LA.
Right.
We were living our best life for that first year. Like, I was an actor. You know what I mean? I wasn't taking classes, I wasn't doing anything, but...
You just went to a random audition every 6 months or something?
Actually, that first year I didn't audition at all.
Really?
At all.
You didn't take an acting class, you didn't do anything?
Nothing. I was just living my life with my best friend.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a good time.
All right, are you still friends with this friend?
That's my guy, yeah. I mean, I don't know what time it is in the States. I'm like, I'll call him right now. He'll answer
enough.
for sure. Yeah.
believe you.
That's one of my best friends, yeah, still to this day. I mean, we struggled a lot together.
Yeah.
Like, people don't get it, like, again, I don't know, it's very weird for me to talk about these things, but like, there was a period of time where me and him were living out the car. Like, we were homeless, we had one car.
Right.
It was me and him living in that car, like, and it was still like, I was still the happiest I've ever been in my life. It's very difficult for me to explain that feeling to people. We had nothing but each other. Like,
Yeah.
I just knew, like, all right, if I'm gonna run through this door, my boy's running with me. If he's running through that door, I'm running with him. Like, I remember every morning we wake up, at night, when we would decide where we wanted to sleep for that night.
Right.
We just make it like a fun thing. Like, man, we'll go sleep by the beach. We got a little beach house for the night.
That's awesome.
You know, and yeah. Even though it was a struggle, it was really fun. There's still some of the happiest moments of my life.
I think that's really interesting because, you know, I said to you in the beginning, I think people see success
Yeah.
as like this big shiny thing, but
Yeah.
really the truth is there's a lot behind the scenes that we don't see.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of hard work, and sometimes in the pursuit of a dream or purpose, you
Yeah.
have to do those things, like sleep in a
Absolutely.
car.
And it's the thing that we were talking about a little earlier. It's okay to go through adversity, but you have to learn from adversity. You can't keep repeating the same cycle. So I think the good thing that me and my friend Adrian would always do, we'd always reflect. Every night, we'd always talk about our days. We'd always talk about what we did that day, what we could have done differently, like what we want to do tomorrow. So there was always reflection and growth, which helped us, helped us both. It's helped us both grow pretty quickly. You know what I mean? Which, yeah, I'm very grateful for those experiences.
I can understand that 100%, and it's probably made you a better actor as well.
For
Giving
sure.
You that gravitas, you know what I mean?
Gravitas. Oh, great word, gravitas. Yeah. No, it's more about like gaining the perspectives. Gaining the perspectives. You see a lot of life. And
what did you learn? What was the number one thing you learned during that time when you were really struggling and living out of a car?
That nobody's opinion matters.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I always knew in my head I've been a millionaire, famous actor since day one. You know what I mean? In my head, I was that guy.
Right.
So it always was like, all right, people are gonna talk, but people never know your situation, and you're never as good or as bad as they say you are.
You never considered going back and living with your parents and saying?
Never.
Never.
Not even for a minute. Because I'm that type of, like, I just wanted, I know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And that's what I was gonna do, even if it took forever. Like I was ready to lock in. Even if the show wasn't as successful as it was, I'd still be out there working hard, like doing my thing. Like I was not gonna stop.
So what have you done in the States then? You know, of course we know you as Big Zee, but before Big Zee came and graced our screens, what had you done back in the States?
So a lot of independent films on NCIS LA right now, like guest star, a few episodes, and
It's a great show.
I love that show.
It's a good
I love
show.
that show. You know, it's better than the other NCISs, in my humble opinion.
Subjective opinion.
Subjective, humble.
Slightly biased opinion.
You
but
know
yes.
what? It's a great show. It is a great show.
It's a great show. It's a great show.
What was I saying? We're talking about projects I've done. Yeah, so a lot of independent films, but because of those independent films, I learned a lot. You know, they're low budgets. You know, you got to film in a couple weeks. You know, you get prep time.
Yeah.
But it's not like if you had a huge budget, you know, you plan a year ahead of things and stuff like that. So it really prepared me for better roles. And obviously, the main thing I tell anybody that wants to be an actor, be around acting all the time. Like, it doesn't matter if you're an extra, it doesn't matter if like you're just going to class, and I say just going to class, you should be going to class all the time. You should be going to class.
Education is important.
Education is very important.
Yeah.
You gotta be around acting all the time. Put yourself around acting. Struggle, it doesn't matter, pay your bills, live a very minimal life, but be around acting all the time. Because that's the only way you're gonna get anything done. Because, you know, next thing I know, all right, this director was like, oh, there's this other project, Adam, I think that you should go audition for, you know? Next thing I know, I'm in this project.
It's that connected network, isn't it?
Exactly. So just being around it, be friendly with people, and you'll find doors opening up if you just continue to work on yourself and be around acting and filmmaking.
Yeah, you heard it. All the actors, you heard it. You heard it right
You
here.
heard it here. Heard it here first, folks. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, talk to me about getting the role in Labatt Newton as Big Zee.
So originally I didn't even, I wasn't supposed to play that role. I was supposed to play Luca, who's played by Ali. I forget his last name again, man. I'm so sorry, Ali. I'm so sorry, brother. But he's a great dude. He's, so I was supposed to play Luca, and when I got out to Egypt for the first time, and I met Dammit and Mona and all them.
Mr. Tamer Mohsen, the director, of course.
Yes, Mr. Tamer Mohsen. Very grateful for him too. He helped me a lot as an actor as well, and just being able to watch him direct other actors, I learned a lot from that. So I was like really a sponge on set because I'm working with some great people out here.
The best of the best.
Literally. So I'm like, let me soak in whatever I can, take what I can from this project to my next project, you know? So yeah, wasn't supposed to play Big Zee. It was Big Mo at the time.
Okay.
Big Mo, huge Mo. So when I got out here, they were like, look, let's give it another try. We know your Arabic is very broken. It was really bad at the time, like awful. I try to explain to people, but it was like...
To be honest, one of your, I would say, unique selling points as Big Zee has been your Arabic.
Yeah.
I see posts online and memes and people loving it.
I love that they love it, but even at that point, like I couldn't even say 2 words in Arabic.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, this is not okay. You know what I mean? So they really took a chance on me. They really did take a chance on me, and I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, got out there, and then they had me audition when when Muna got to set, they were like, all right, look, she's coming. Let's just try something, you know?
Just to see the chemistry.
Just to see what's gonna happen. Like, no promises, nothing. So we did, and she was so nice during the audition process. Both Dammit and Muna were so sweet to me, and like, very, very helpful in the process. And like, when I would mess up in a word in Arabic, they correct me and stuff, or like when me and Muna were improvising together, I'd mess up and she'd correct me in the improv.
Okay.
And yeah, they both really helped me a ton, and I'm like extremely grateful for them.
What's one of the biggest mess ups you've ever made when it comes to Arabic? Can you think of anything particular?
I've said this a couple times already, but I'm telling people, the thing that confused me so much was like "fuki nafsik" and like and "kefi nafsik."
Okay.
These two words, and then I put them together and make kofi. You know what I'm saying? And like that's where that joke originated from. It was just like me being awful at Arabic.
That was one of my favorite parts of the TV show, watching Muna Zaki going, "Yabni ta'allam Arabi."
Please, and this was real. Like this was real. Like Muna was like, please, like learn this already. Yeah. But we had a lot of great moments off of my mess ups, you know. So I would blow a line, she'd improv, and then like I'd come back, you know. So we had some great moments off of just like me not being able to speak Arabic.
Of course.
But it fit the character, so it was very easy to go from like, all right, he blew the Arabic word, but it fits the character, and we got this footage. You know what I mean? So it was that was always a comfort zone.
That is awesome. That's fantastic. So how long between like your first audition and from the call where you go, oh my gosh, I got the part? Mm-hmm. How long did that take?
Are we talking about when I got Luca or when I actually got the Big Z role when I came out here?
Let's talk Big Z.
Big Z, okay. So it was literally hours. So the same day I flew in was the same day I re-auditioned.
Okay.
So like I said, did the audition, Muna and Dammit in the room.
This was when, 2019?
2019, yeah.
A couple years ago now.
Yeah, we were on that for a minute. COVID kind of threw everything.
Changed the world.
Changed the world. The whole world was thrown off, not just us. So it was just, did the audition, and then it was just like, Dammit was like, all right, let's think about this. You go sit outside for a minute and we'll let you know what happened. So I'm sitting outside for hours.
Yeah.
And you know the anxiety. I'm like, and I'm not a sitter, you know? Yeah. You saw me on set.
I saw Adam on set, and I will testify to this.
Yeah.
You do not sit down for like longer than, he's like, hi, I'm Adam. Like you sat with me for 5 minutes, like, I'm just gonna go, I'll be back.
I'll be back.
I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, I'm not a sitter. I like to move around.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting for a second, and then I'm like walking around the office. I've looked at everything in the office that I could possibly look at. I'm like, I need more stimulation, you know? And I'm telling you, it was like 4 hours that I was sitting there waiting. I was like the only one in the office, and like at some
It's
point.
like American Idol.
Yeah. At some point, I'm like, nah, I can't wait anymore. I'm gonna go ask.
Yeah.
So I went in and asked, and they were like, just, you know, be patient. We don't know, but they knew at the time already. They already made the choice. They were like, all right, you're good. You're a go.
Okay.
But I don't know why they didn't tell me actually right away. Save me some.
It was probably
angst.
fun. It was fun seeing you that way.
And seeing me struggle and like walk around chewing my nails.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a matter of hours of just me sitting there like, all right,
Okay.
when is this gonna happen? Yeah.
So when did you start filming? When did the filming start? Did you film first in America or in Egypt, or how did it go?
So we filmed first in Egypt, and then we flew out to the States right before the pandemic hit. It was so funny because we took the last flight out of the US to come back to Egypt once we finished filming over there.
Wow.
Yeah, so we were very lucky that like we were able to get that done. Otherwise we would have all been stuck in the US, which wouldn't have been a problem for me because I live out there.
Which
but,
again
like,
is a wonderful parallel to the events of the series on the show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we filmed Egypt first, then Egypt first, then the US, then we came back to Egypt like right at the beginning of the pandemic. So this was March 2020, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
February, March-ish. And we started filming a little bit out here, but then everything got shut down.
Right.
So I was kind of stuck in Egypt. I didn't know anybody.
Right.
So it was like a whole month of me just sitting in this apartment, like, cool.
Staring at a wall.
Yeah, which I'm grateful for production for putting me in an apartment too. Thank you so much. Like I wouldn't have been able to like function out here. They put me in an apartment. They fed me every day. You know, they really took care of me. They took care of me. So that was good, but it's just the loneliness aspect that was like really difficult at that time. Just being out here, not really knowing anybody.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's every actor's dream to work with some of the actors that you worked with.
For sure.
You know, and to be someone who, like you said yourself, you're sort of like a struggling actor, you know, trying to find your way, and to be thrown into like such a big show with people like Mona Zaki and Mohamed Mamdouh and Mohamed Farrokh and stuff. I want you to tell me a little bit about the experience of working with these seasoned actors and what that was like for you.
Honestly, again, it was just a learning experience. I was a sponge. You know, obviously I believe in myself as an actor and I'm confident in myself and like who I am as a person. Yeah. But still, standing in front of these people, I was always aware that they're on another level. You know what I mean? So like, especially like when I would work with Mona and Farrokh, there would be moments where, for example, Damon would give me some direction and I might not have understood it as clearly as I should, maybe because my Arabic wasn't at that level yet, but they would step in and be like, this is what he meant, you know what I mean? Or like, just little things to just help me get confidence. They weren't directing me, but it was just a confidence builder.
That's wonderful, that's really wonderful, because there's always that question, isn't it? You know, what are actors like when the camera isn't on them?
Yeah.
So to find out that you know, such amazing talent is also incredibly supportive. Yeah. That's a really nice insight, actually.
Yeah. And I was, you know, I didn't know what to expect because like I just know they're megastars, so I didn't know what their personalities were gonna be like. But like for example, Farrokh, I feel like me and him are very similar. Like he's not a sitter either. He's more of a walk around.
Does he pace as well on set?
Yeah, he's a pacer for sure. But like he's laughing all the time. He's a very light person. So is Mona. Mona's very light. Like they're both very easygoing and like they understand that this is a job. Right. They don't let that get to their head. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that they're very like, all right, this is my work. I want to do the best that I can at my job, and that's all that is.
That's incredible. So what was the biggest thing that you learned, you would say, from Mona Zaki or from Mohamed Farrokh? Because you worked with them probably the closest.
For sure, like almost all of my scenes were with them, minus maybe like 1 or 2 scenes.
Right.
That is a good question, because I feel like I learned a lot, and I just threw it in like my subconscious, like, all right, you learned this, bro. Don't do, you know what I mean? Don't make that same mistake. Don't make that same mistake. But mostly just like how they prep right before we say action. Yeah. Yeah, like right before they say action, it's like for me personally, I like take a breath and try to like be as present as possible and aware of.
In the moment.
In the moment, that's all it is. All right, I'm in this environment in front of X, Y, and Z, we're doing X, Y, and Z.
Right.
So that was a big takeaway for me, like.
We're doing X, Y, and Z.
And, yeah.
I couldn't
resist, you know what, you gotta get that in there. Yeah.
Sorry, you can go back to what you were saying.
Sally, I was not ready for that.
I'm sorry, I know. I couldn't help it, it was just there.
It was there. I threw you the little softball and you just went for it.
Home run.
Home run.
All right. Yeah, so you were saying the lessons learned.
Lessons learned. It was just preparation. And again, seeing them really see this as a job, because that is what it is, you know what I mean? Like, this is work. We're here to work. And they weren't trying to step on anybody's toes. They weren't like, oh, I need this right now. Like, it's
service, isn't it? You know, storytelling and offering a slice of someone's life and allowing millions of people to connect to that.
Absolutely. That's it. And that's exactly how they took it. You know what I mean? So that's one of the biggest lessons that I learned, is just perspective on the job.
Right.
Yeah. Don't let things get to your head.
That's incredible.
You're never as good or as bad as they say you are. I love that quote. You're never as good or as bad as they say you are. Yeah.
That's really cool. That's really wonderful. And I mean, you know, Mohamed Farrokh in particular, watching him and you in the scenes, that was one of my favorite things, because for some reason, most of your scenes happen to take place between doorways.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
There's so many of them where you're coming into an apartment, he's going out of an apartment. There's always like in a doorway, and of course, you know, at the very end, there's a long struggle. I thought it was like, this is the climax of all the doorway scenes.
Dang. Yeah, he's either coming into my place, I'm going to his place, or like, there's a lot of doorway. Even when I went, like, when we were filming at Motnis's house, he came out of a doorway, and I was standing. Yeah, this is so interesting. Yeah. So I'm sorry, what was the question? I'm so distracted by the doorways now.
What was that like? Because I mean, filming, it's hard, like, especially when like you're both pushing against the same door, and that must be, I mean, it's only for a couple of moments on screen, but I know from experience, things like that take a long time to shoot.
For sure.
What's that like to be in that moment, in that intensity, and at the same time, you know, have that professionalism and that camaraderie as actors? What's that like?
So that was very interesting because Zee and Mutnis didn't like each other, but I love Figa, like that's my guy, you know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure he feels the same way. So like, he'd yell action, and like, me and him were really we were really
pushing against the door.
We were really doing that.
Okay.
And that scene specifically, you got to think about the angles that it was shot at and everything. It took a little bit of time, and we were both exhausted after that day. Like we both had bruises on our arms and stuff from pushing the door. It was a rough.
Especially Farrokh, because it's like a man pushed to the point of desperation.
Yeah, he's here at that point. Like
consistently for those final couple of episodes, he just does not come down from that. And so I can only imagine how exhausting it must be, and what it must be like for you as well as an actor to support that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It was exhausting. That's the best way I could put it. Like we would yell cut, and me and him were just sweating, dripping sweat, you know, and like.
You need touch-ups on all the makeup.
Breathing hard. It's more than touch-ups, girl. We need a whole other makeup session. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
But yeah, that was a very difficult. Actually, it wasn't that difficult to film. It was just exhausting. It was just tiring.
Long days.
Long days. Long days. But that doorway scene specifically was
as intense as it seems on screen.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
And okay, so when you are filming day in, day out for so long with such a group of actors, I'm sure there are those light moments as well that happen.
Yeah.
Anything that you can share with us that was particularly funny during the filming process?
Oh God. This question always stumps me because I feel like, again, I just put that all in the back of my head. Like, oh, this experience is done. There was a lot, mostly like me messing up my Arabic and then them correcting me and like, you know what I mean? Like that was really funny moments. At first, I would laugh with them like, you know what I mean? Internally, I'm like, why are you guys laughing at me? You know?
Right.
But I didn't understand. They weren't laughing at my acting. They were laughing like I said a word wrong. You know, but I took my job seriously, and I'm like, I'm an actor. I feel like they're laughing at my acting, but they were just laughing at my words. Like everybody on set, not just.
Yeah, it's the family thing.
Exactly, right? Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of light moments. There's a lot of like mostly Farrokh cracking jokes. The guy's really witty. You know what I mean? Like we'll just be hanging out and he'll say something, and I'm like, how did you even come up with this right now? It's super funny moments like that, yeah.
It seemed like a really lovely vibe on set, and I think there's certain things that you can't fake, and they do translate onto the screen.
Absolutely.
And how well a cast works together is one of those things. Because sometimes you'll watch a project and it's great and everyone's doing really well, but there's just something that doesn't quite gel.
Exactly.
It's kind of like, you know, with Friends, the TV show, it makes it so much more interesting and better to watch when you realize they were all really actually friends offset.
Yeah.
So from what you're saying, it feels like that's very much what it was like.
Exactly. And again, it was very weird for me because they were like my only like friends at the time, because they were the only people that I knew and I was working with.
Yeah, especially here in Egypt, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like for example, Mona is a wife and a mom. She's got kids. Like Farrokh's doing a bunch of other things. I can't call them every day. Be like, hey, you guys want to come hang out? You guys want to go do this? You know? So that was a little interesting. But on set, loved both of them, and they were, again, I'm very grateful to both of them for being very kind to me and like really helping me out.
Tamer Mohsen, we touched upon how he is one of the best directors out there.
Absolutely.
Oh, you know, actors, seasoned actors, and you know, actors that are starting out and struggling, all want to work with him. Tell me about that experience working with Tamer Mohsen. What is that like?
First of all, if you get the chance to work with this guy, thank God, because like it's a different level. But what I admired about him most, like obviously as a director, you're a problem solver, right? So he'll be giving us.
And a multitasker.
He multitasks like nobody else I've ever seen in my life. Literally, we'll be having conversations, someone will come, problem, this is the problem, and he'll just solve it real quick, jump right back into conversation with me. Like, I couldn't do that at that level.
Right.
With that much, like, you gotta think about the amount of pressure that he's under too, and it's like, he eats pressure for breakfast. Like, this is nothing, you know? So, getting to work with him was like, I'm getting goosebumps even thinking about it, you know what I mean? But like, he would tell me things like, first of all, he understood that my Arabic was very broken, so when he gave me directions, it was always very simple words, but like exactly what I needed. You know,
to make you do what you needed to do for the scene.
Exactly, exactly. And sometimes, like, again, my Arabic was very rough and I didn't understand what I was saying. Literally did not understand what I was saying.
Yeah.
So it was very good for me to have him come and just give me like, all right, this is how, it's not even this is how you're feeling in the moment. He would just tell me one sentence, a couple sentences, or explain something that would make everything else click for me.
Yeah.
So again, look, I've worked with a lot of directors and I feel like not a lot of them know how to talk to actors. And with Demir, he knows how to talk to each actor in a specific way that they will receive the direction the way that he wants them to receive the direction.
Yes.
That is like, again, getting goosebumps, but like that is not a common talent.
It's hard, especially when you've got like a room full of extras, you know, and different nationalities.
You see how he even directs the extras.
Yes. One of the most wonderful things for me as a personal experience seeing him work was seeing how he cares about every single character. Every single actor is part of his frame, and so he pays attention to that. So he'll speak to the star, but he'll also speak to the extra that's there for one shot that doesn't have a line to make sure that everyone understands what they're doing.
Exactly. And you said, like, even if you don't have a line,
Yeah.
he'll give you direction because you're in his shot.
Exactly.
And he needs to be able to get what he needs out of this shot.
Yeah. Do you think you direct maybe one day?
Me?
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
100% want to. I even like, again, grateful for this experience that I was able to watch him work. Like, again, I'm a sponge.
Yeah.
So I was learning the whole time. I was like, okay, why is he doing what he's doing?
Yeah.
Why did they shoot this way? And also the DOP of the show, Mahmoud Yusuf.
Incredible. Incredible.
Love this guy. Goosebumps again.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's incredible. Incredible. Like, all the shots came out incredible. And like, you gotta think about even the airport shot in the
Yes.
States, that was shot on an iPhone.
Was it really?
I was shot on an iPhone.
Oh, wow.
That's how good this man is. You know what I mean? Like, iPhone, he knew he got the frames that he needed, and the shot looked great. It didn't feel out of place. It was very smooth. You would never have guessed. Like, if I didn't tell you that right now, would you have even?
No idea.
Exactly.
No idea, and I'm sure anyone else, you know, listening to this will feel the same way, because that is the mark of professionalism, isn't it?
Absolutely.
To be able to be resourceful, regardless of what resources you have.
Problem solving. Filmmaking is problem solving. You're just problem solving all day.
So you want to dive right into that, huh?
Eventually. I think it's still a little early for me to do that. I think right now I really do want to focus on my acting.
Okay.
I write a lot too, but still it's like
What do you write?
films and like shows. Like me and my buddy, we're shopping a show in the US right now. Hopefully it gets picked up, but.
What do you mean by shopping a show? That's like
Oh, so let me
lingo.
explain.
Yeah, you have to explain what that means.
So we wrote a show, we have a pitch deck. So basically all the materials that we need to sell the project to someone or get funding for the project from someone. So we have our team contacting studios or production companies to see if they'd be interested in helping us create our project.
Right.
But, you know, I understand how the States work more than Egypt, so I think it will take me a while before I try to do something like that out here.
Right.
But for sure in the States, we're getting after that. We're getting after that.
But now you're in this very unique position where you get to go between LA, you know, which is, like we said at the very beginning, the center for actors, and really try to like network and get yourself out there, and then also this incredible amount of exposure that you have here in Egypt.
Yeah.
So what's that like? Because that's really the best of both worlds, isn't it?
Again, I'm grateful. I'm blessed. I don't know how to put it any other way. Like, because again, I know a lot of talented people, and it takes more than talent to do this. It takes luck. It takes a good team. It takes a lot of luck, actually. A lot of luck. A lot of being in the right place at the right time. But what it's like, it's just opportunity. I feel so comfortable, and it's weird because I'm coming from a place of just being uncomfortable all the time. Like, you're just working at restaurants, you're tired all the time.
Well, that's interesting. What jobs have you done other than the acting then?
Whew.
Come on now, spill the. You're the one that brought it up. You got to tell me.
I started when I was 16 years old. My first job when I was 16, I started working, and like over there, not to brag or anything, but we were the #1 drive-through in the country for a while.
Awesome.
No big deal.
So a little bit of fast food work.
Little fast food work, and then from there we went to another. So this is after, so 19 to 21. I worked at this barbecue spot, more fast food. 21 years old when I moved out to LA. Funny story, actually. I was a store manager of another barbecue restaurant.
Okay, you like your barbecue.
You know, it's just what was there for me at the time. I gotta jump onto any opportunity that's presented.
And I'm just gonna jump up here and say Adam is a big eater.
Huge.
Huge eater.
Huge eater.
Every time I have run into him, we've had conversations about food, and you've been, for whatever reason, waiting for food to arrive.
All the time. I need like 6 meals a day. It's stupid, like how much I
You're a growing boy, as my mother says.
A growing boy, 26, we're still growing. But yeah, so 21, I was a store man. I'm telling 40-year-old men what to do. You know what I mean? And it's funny how I got the job. They were just opening. I was in sweats.
Okay.
I was walking around the neighborhood at night, and I just happened to see the guy in there. I walked in, was like, hey, look, I've been working at restaurants my whole life. I know you guys are about to open. I don't know if you're looking for any positions. He was like, I'm looking for a store manager. And again, I'm looking bummy.
Yeah.
I'm a young kid, you know? And he actually interviewed me, but I speak well in interviews, and I'm aware. So I got the job.
Awesome.
We were crushing it too. For that, I'm telling you, for that first month, we were like top store in the area and stuff like that. And then I stopped caring, which is a huge problem.
Right.
Because I'm running the whole store, so I'm like, I don't want to do this barbecue stuff anymore.
Right.
And I stopped working there, and then that's when I started like working as a waiter, because the tips were like how you kind of survive out there. So I worked at a waiter, I worked at a Brazilian restaurant, I worked at a Greek restaurant, worked at a Mexican restaurant. I worked at like...
It's all food related.
All food related.
All food related,
all
literally.
All food related, yeah, exactly. So a lot of restaurant work until about 2019, where I was like, man, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like I don't, plus it's time consuming, and I wanted to focus more on acting.
And energy consuming.
Absolutely, you're exhausted by the end of it. People don't get it, you're up on your feet 6 to 8 hours. You're moving around, you're hustling, you're focused on...
As customer service, you're constantly trying to make sure everyone's happy as well.
Absolutely.
And there's some hard customers, difficult customers always, right?
Yeah, but I dealt with them well. I had a good time working at restaurants too. Always had a good time with whatever I did, which was like, it was just a good time.
What did it teach you that's helped you now in this moment of your life? Because I'm of the belief that nothing is wasted.
Yeah.
Everything in life, even when we don't understand what it's for, is never wasted. It feeds into a gretter purpose, into something, you know,
bigger.
Something that you're ultimately heading towards in life.
Yeah.
So when you look back and you connect the dots, when you look back and you connect the dots, you know, what is it that you see? Like, what did you learn then that has helped you now?
I think it's a combination of things. It taught me how to hustle, you know, because it's like, all right, wake up in the morning, hit the gym, do prep for my acting class, go to work, right after work, acting class, go to sleep, repeat.
Okay.
And that was the cycle for years.
Okay.
It was exhausting. But it just taught me how to hustle and to value the things that I had. You know what I mean? And you know, people ask me all the time, why didn't you ask your parents for help? Because I'm a Leo. And we don't ask for help.
Scorpio, what up?
Pleasure. No, yeah, I was very stubborn. I didn't tell my parents anything. Even when we were living out the car, I was like, nah, I don't need them. We don't need to. And I love my parents. We have a great relationship now, but I was just hard-headed.
Yeah, and it's a sink or swim thing. It's like, you know, if you want to take the island, you got to burn all the bridges.
You got to burn the boats.
Burn the boats. That's the one.
Yeah, exactly. So I burnt all the boats.
Right.
We made sure the boats were burnt. We burnt those boats. Sorry, where were we at?
You were telling me about how it taught you
Hustle.
The hustle.
Yeah, and that's a very important thing, especially as an actor now. Like, you're working a lot of hours. Like, it's not a easy job. You got to prepare. You got to do all this. So I understand how to work hard now for what I want. Yeah. So back to the restaurant thing.
Yes.
So to the work thing. So about 2019, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I was what was I, 24, about to be 25 years old. So I started learning stocks and like, so I started really getting into that and like, because again, I was like, how can I work as little as possible?
And make as much as possible.
Make as much money as possible and then focus on filmmaking. And my buddy was doing stocks and he was like, bro, you could easily make $100 a day doing this if you just learn how to chart things and like really figure out the market. And I was like, cool, $100 a day. That's great. At the end of the month, I have $3,000, you know?
That's incredible.
Exactly. So I started really locking into that. I learned how to do all that and then didn't have to work at the restaurant anymore. Took a while. I lost a lot of money before I made any money.
I can imagine.
For sure, I lost a ton of money before I made any money. But once you start like doing it, and again, it's like the fruits of your labor. Like I took the time to learn this skill.
Yeah.
so that I can pay my bills and at the same time focus on what I really want to focus on.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Yeah.
Do people call you, because it's Sharkawy, I'm sure.
Yeah, in the States. Yeah,
In the States. So just, like, what are some of the nicknames that people have for you? Like, does anyone call you Shark?
Nah, no, because that's too corny for me. I'm like, no, you can't say this, guys.
So you put like a standard, you're like,
Yeah,
"Don't
nah,
do that."
please don't do that. That's
Well, what
low.
are some of your nicknames, other than Big Zee, of course?
Oh, Moody, a lot, because my name Mahmoud. Moody, like when I've been growing up, Moody was my name. Like my football team, Moody, like.
So your real name is Mahmoud, not Adam?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, Moody was what I went by mostly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And no fun nicknames?
Not that I can remember.
Because I had a really stupid one when I was a
What's
kid.
your nickname?
Silly Sally Strawberry.
Silly Sally Strawberry.
Yeah, it was one of the dumber ones. It was one of the dumber ones that I
How
had.
old were you when you were Silly Sally?
Oh, I was probably, I'm still Silly Sally.
You're still Silly Sally?
But I don't go by that anymore.
Okay.
Probably I was 12. I was probably 12 or
I love how
something.
we flip this interview now. Tell me about yourself.
Yeah, I want to flip it right back right now.
Please.
Because I have a couple of fan questions over here,
Okay.
all right, for you. But before we get into those, I just wanted to ask you something which I think is really important for up-and-coming actors like yourself, especially people who are from both worlds, who are in Hollywood and trying to tell stories and work, and also here in Egypt, being able to play roles as diverse as Zee and the full array of wonderful characters that we saw this year, even just in the entirety of the Ramadan shows. And I wanted to have a conversation and just wanted to get your take on this idea of diversity in Hollywood, because for the longest time, of course, Arabs have been portrayed as a couple of known stereotypes.
Yes.
The terrorist, the oil sheikh, whatever it is. So what do you think about the state of affairs now in terms of diversity for Arab actors in Hollywood? And do you think it's moving in the right direction, or how do you see it?
I think it's moving in the right direction.
Okay.
I think it's moving in the right direction. I think it's going to be one of those slow burns. It's going to take a while because, again, the stereotypes have been there for so long, and they're kind of.
And unchallenged.
That's what it is. Nobody had really challenged them until like you see, like when Rami Malek won the Oscar, all of a sudden Egyptians could play other roles.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was getting auditions to be a regular guy. You know what I mean? But I'm living a regular guy life.
Yeah,
you know
I've
what I
always
mean?
been a regular
I've
guy.
always just been like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a slow burn because, listen, the states are very different. You got people from all over the world. It's not like Egypt where diversity might not be as big an issue, or I don't know really how it is out here, but like.
It is a melting pot there with lots of different ethnicities and religions.
Exactly, and people want to be represented on screen. I'm watching TV and all I see is just like white folks living life. I'm like, but I live the same life, but the only thing that I see of my people is this specific stereotype.
Right.
So it's gonna take a while. I think we're moving in the right direction for sure, and I think as long as people like Rami Malek keep getting opportunities and things like that, it opens a lot of doors for others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you think that Arab actors could be doing in order to increase their chances or their visibility?
That is a good question, Sally. Do I think?
Or is there anything perhaps that you personally have been doing that you could share to inspire others?
Turning down those stereotypical roles. You know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you a story. There was an audition for a huge TV show out there. And they really wanted me to do it. But I read the script and it was disturbing.
Was it just offensive?
It was offensive. You know what I'm saying? This guy's saying like a very, very religious prayer, and then he goes and commits an act of terror. And I'm like, that's not the religion. That's not what this is. And that show didn't even air.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I knew that I made the right choice, because like that, it was disgusting the way that they were trying to portray Arabs, in general.
Yes, and Muslim Arabs as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Specifically,
yeah. So just not. We have to move away from those roles.
Yeah.
We have to move away from those roles.
Well, I think it's wonderful that you're like you were saying before, that you're writing and you're looking to pitch things and create opportunities, because I think that's where it starts.
Yeah.
You know, people also writing and lending their voices and saying, hey, we can also do other things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, I'm also an American. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to look this way to be American.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's really great. I just wanted to get your take on it because I think it's an important topic to talk about, especially in the climate worldwide.
Absolutely.
We've been talking about race as a not just in the country but across the world, and I think one of the issues and one of the races that gets swept under the table is this issue of Arab representation
In film, yeah.
in film and in TV shows. So. There you go. So that's the serious little portion.
Little conversation
that I
that
wanted
we
to
have to
get
have.
out of the way.
Also, I've been looking at the wrong camera this whole time. We're locked in here. I've been looking.
got
You
you,
know what I
we got
mean?
you.
We're
Got your
on
eyelines.
now. Exactly. Okay.
So I've got a couple of fan questions.
Go ahead.
Okay, for you, because I don't know if you've noticed, Adam, you have a lot of fans.
I'm grateful.
You have a lot of female fans.
I do.
Just putting it out there.
I love them all too. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So here are a couple of questions. What hobbies do you have other than being an actor?
Very outdoorsy. I like to be outside. So a lot of sports. Love to hike. I love nature. Even just like being at the beach or like go sitting at a park. I read at the park a lot.
Okay.
Are
you a big reader?
I'm a big reader. I'm a big reader. I'm very big on education. We talk about this all the time. I love
'cause
reading.
I'm a big reader too, and I love
Exactly.
books.
And I love that we've both read similar books.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's actually how we connected too. The first time we were reading a similar author and things like that.
Yes.
So yeah, love books. I love being outside too. I love the earth. That sounds so hippie-ish, but I'm very hippie-ish. I love the earth. Big fan of the earth. Big fan. Yeah.
That's great. That's awesome. All right. What is your favorite film of all time?
Whew, Troy, for sure. Yes, Troy with Brad Pitt.
Why that film?
Because I love Achilles, the character of Achilles. You know, he says a lot of things in that film like that resonate with me. Because what is Achilles about? He is the best warrior for a reason.
Right.
Because Achilles is out there working every day.
Yeah.
And he's recognized by everyone as being the best. Like, no one disputes that.
Right.
But it's because he put in effort. He says a lot of things, like, for example, when they're going to the boat to Troy for the first time, he's telling these people, you know, I forget the exact quote, but it's like, glory is there on the beach, it's yours, take it.
Right.
Like, reach out and take it. Like, these things resonate with me so much because that's how I see things too. Things are there, you have to choose to go and take these things if you want them.
I mean, that's true of everything and very in line, you know, with everything you've told me about your life story. So
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that movie as well.
Yeah.
But I loved it as a 16-year-old because I loved Orlando Bloom at the time.
Orlando.
But it's a great film nonetheless.
I was so mad that he killed Achilles too. I was like, not him.
Why Paris?
Why Paris? Yeah.
It's a good film. It's a real
Yeah.
What is your favorite and your least favorite Egyptian food?
Least favorite. Let's start with least favorite. Hammam?
You don't like hamam?
Hammam?
Oh no.
Nah, here's the thing.
You're gonna lose a lot of followers, bro.
Here's the thing. Listen.
Okay.
Listen.
Okay, tell me, talk to me.
First time I had to eat this, the head was on the pigeon.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, like, you get the head on the pigeon?
Okay.
I'm not trying to eat that. I'm not trying to look at the bird. You know what I mean? And
I
first of
know.
all, where'd you get this pigeon? Where did you get the pigeon? That's a very important question. You go outside and like, you know what I'm saying? We're eating this for dinner.
Right.
Is there a pigeon farm? I haven't heard of any pigeon farms personally.
They're out there, I promise.
I'm sure there are, but like I was very, very confused at the time.
To be fair, if you've grown up your whole life in America and not really been exposed to that kind of thing,
Yeah.
seeing that again, it's kind of scary.
Yeah, it was a little much. I ate potatoes that day. I ate a lot of potatoes that
So
day.
what's your favorite go-to? Your
Favorite
go-to
go-to?
dish?
I've been talking about this so much, but kushari.
Kushari.
Huge fan.
The first time I met Adam, true story, he was eating very spicy kushari. It's true.
We don't lie around here.
It was a big plate too.
It was a huge plate.
Yeah.
No, I'm about that life. I'm about the kushari life. We eat kushari here. Yeah, 100%.
Spicy or not so spicy?
Spicy.
Spicy all the way.
Spicy, all the spice.
Like your style.
Yes.
So next question.
Go ahead.
What's a place in Egypt that you've not visited that you want to visit still?
Oh, Dahab, for sure.
Dahab.
Yeah. I've been seeing a lot of pictures, and again, I'm very hippie-ish, and I feel like that's the vibe out there.
It's beautiful.
I could totally walk around barefoot, without a shirt all day, like hanging out.
Lots of dogs around.
Exactly,
Yeah.
just hanging by the beach. Yeah, that's definitely a place that I want to go to.
And what's your favorite place in Egypt that you have gone to?
Favorite place that I have gone to? Just because I'm there all the time, I love Zamalek.
Okay.
And everything's so convenient there.
Yeah.
It's like whatever you need. It's just you go downstairs, you got this here, you got this here, you got this here. It's very convenient over there. I love being there.
It's a great place.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So you have a tattoo. What does it say?
It says, I can do everything through he who gives me strength. So basically, yeah, God.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why that tattoo?
So here's the thing. Got it when I was very young. I was about 15, 16 years old. Me and my very good friend at the time, we were like, yo, we gotta get tattoos.
Okay.
And I was sitting in Spanish class one day, and the girl behind me had just gotten a tattoo. So I was like, where did you get your tattoo? And she told me, my boy does tattoos at this location. So I called my friend. I'm like, hey, Angel, let's go. I got a place to get tattoos at. We don't have a car at the time. We have our friend Rachel drive us.
Okay.
It is the shadiest neighborhood. The shadiest neighborhood I've ever been to.
Oh no.
But once we get there, like me and Angel look at each other like, are we gonna do this? He was like, I don't know, man. I was like, you know what? We're here. Let's just, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
We get out the car. We meet the tattoo artist, but as soon as I walk in the house and I see the Nintendo 64 with the Legend of Zelda in it, I was like, we are good. We are good. This guy's a great guy.
Oh wow.
So it was
See,
fun.
I would have been running for the hills.
Yeah, see, that's me. I run into things and see what happens. Like we run in head first and think on our feet. Yeah, so we walk in there. He pulls out this like random chair. I'm like, where are we gonna get tattoos? Pulls out the chair. Bow. Right here. We're gonna get tattoos right here. You know, he opened everything in front of us, thankfully, like all the needles and everything. But that was an interesting experience. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it could have went a whole other direction.
It could have, yeah, exactly. It could have looked really awful.
Yeah.
It could have been ripped off. Anything.
Yeah, but I'm a lucky person too. I'm very lucky in my life. So.
Why did you choose that particular line?
Because at the time, I felt lost. I didn't really understand my life. I didn't understand, because again, I'm Egyptian American. At home, it's one culture, and outside, it's like 70 cultures. It's like, we got a mix of people, so I'm just confused, and the only thing that I had in my life at the time was like God. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's exactly why.
Yeah, I can understand that.
You know, it's just, you're so lost. You're trying to figure yourself out. 16, we're talking about 21, you don't know anything. 16 years old, you don't know anything.
You really don't. And you think you know a lot and you still don't.
You still don't know anything. So all I knew was that something was helping me out. Mm-hmm. All I knew was I was always lucky. I was always like finding ways to get out of trouble, even if I got myself into trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was a very lucky person, and I knew God was with me.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I got a faith. I
Faith?
got my faith tattoo here for the same reason.
I love that.
And that's 100%. I was really interested to hear why
I got
you
it.
had that, because it's so true. You know, some people just get tattoos for whatever reason. There's no right or wrong reason to get a tattoo, but
Absolutely.
I think when it's like a visual reminder that, you know, you're on track, keep going, it has a different level to it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
That's really incredible. That's really wonderful. So, what inspires you?
What inspires me? Being better.
Being better.
Being a better person. We talk about this all the time too. Just improvement. Mm-hmm. Improvement, because I see this life as like, no, I don't want to get too far into that because we get too philosophical, and like I could talk about this
You
for
can
hours.
give it to me in a couple of words if you can.
I cannot give it to you in a couple of words, Sally. This is a whole other conversation. It's a whole 60
Okay, a whole
minutes.
different interview.
Legit.
Right.
So what inspires me is just honestly just improvement. I just want to be the best version of myself, and I always feel like I have more to give.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how good, you know, people receive anything that I do, I always feel like it can be better. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's not being hard on myself. That's just an absolute fact, and I know that I can do better and I can do more. So that just the constant need to improve kind of inspires me and keeps moving me forward. And I'm also very fortunate to have a group of friends around me that are like the same way. They're very like-minded. They're all about getting after it. Every morning we're all up, we're all at the gym, we're all doing this together. So it's
How many people are in your network, would you say, that close-knit
So like very, 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 very close to me, I got like 3 or 4 people that are like my people that I really talk to. But then, like, we have our extended circle, which is like friends that we met on set, friends that people that are like-minded to us, but we might not see them every day.
Sure.
So there's about, like, right now there's a group of 9 guys, and they're probably all gonna come out to Egypt.
Okay.
And hang out here.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Whew, that's gonna be a good time. But yeah,
Cairo's ready for them.
I don't know. Hopefully we don't do anything crazy.
They say all sorts of different cities around the world are the cities that never sleep, and that statement always makes me laugh.
Because Cairo does not sleep.
It does not.
I was telling her, like, I can't sleep before 3 a.m. now. They're like, I'm leaving at 3, and they're like, where are you going? Like, bro, it's 3 a.m. Like, I gotta go home and sleep. And they're still out. Like, people do not sleep here. But yeah, it should be a good time. So those group of 9 guys, just because they're like-minded and they're hustlers, they're always gonna.
How important is that for you to be surrounded by those kind of people, especially in an industry where, let's face it, there's so much rejection?
Yeah, our industry is all rejection.
It's all about rejection.
Yeah, people have this idea that you become an actor and you make money and you like everything is great, but you don't make any money as an actor. Like first starting out, you make nothing and you get rejected constantly. So having that, and like, look, I'm obviously human. I'm not always positive all the time. I'm not always feeling my best all the time. So it's nice to have, let's say, like my buddy Dom, who I'm very fortunate. We have a great apartment together. And let's say I'm having a bad day, he's having a bad day. I can call him up, be like, hey man, this is what I'm thinking about specifically. This is what happened to me today, and we can reflect on it. So it's very important to have these people around you because, again, we're all human. We're all gonna have bad days. 100%. We're all gonna have bad days. So you need people around you to pick you up when you're falling down and to not judge you when you're falling down.
Yeah.
It's huge. You can't approach things with judgment. So that's why my buddies too, they don't judge me. They know who I am as a person. So whenever I tell them things, they're like, all right, look, Adam, let's take a step back, X, Y, and Z, and we talk, we have conversations. It's very important to have people like that around you.
Really wonderful.
Yeah.
What is your fitness routine?
Fitness routine.
Your fitness routine, another fan question.
My fitness routine. Right now it's been a little weird just because gyms are really like closed in LA. We do go to this private gym and stuff too, but times are a little weird because of COVID. But fitness routine, I like to get up early. I think waking up early and working out, best way to start the day.
How early is early?
Every day I'm usually up around 6. I haven't been that way in Egypt because I sleep at 3 a.m. But in the States, I'm up every morning, 6 a.m. Look at stocks, hit the gym, and then right to work.
I love that you look at stocks and then you hit the gym.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Why is that hilarious?
It's just wonderful. It's like, I mean, it's just, for me, it just shows how diverse you are in your interests.
Oh, sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, I need to make money somehow, and I'm not working a job. So
Right.
we gotta get on these stocks every day. Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Arabic word?
My favorite Arabic, gamid.
Gamid.
Gamid. I've been saying gamid a lot. It's my favorite word so far. Yeah, gamid for sure.
Gamid's a great one. That's
Yeah.
really great. And I want to know, Adam, obviously you have so much that's opened up for you now with the show. What's next for you?
It's all up in the air for now, because there's a few projects there. Can't speak about them yet. I'm sure there will be opportunities here. I mean, we've already kind of been thinking about some things, but it's all in the air for me. But like I said, I would love to work here and there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've grown to love Egypt. I love how people receive me here. I really do. I'm genuinely so grateful. Like I can't, like, this is literally a dream of mine, and I definitely want to work here and there.
So we're gonna see more of you then?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
You're not going anywhere.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna be here.
I'm gonna do this one for all the fans. Could you just look straight into the camera and say, I love you in Arabic to them?
I love you. أنا بحبكم.
أنا بحبكم.
Okay. We got the right camera this time. We're locked in. وأنا بحبكم. Thank you so much for everything. I love you guys. I don't know how to thank you guys enough. Thank you so much.
Adam, what can I say? I mean, can I just say thank you for sitting here and chit-chatting with me and revealing so much about your life. I want you to know that I'm 100% rooting for you.
Thank you
I
so
think
much.
you're a great actor, and I think everything that you've done in Labat Newton, that was phenomenal, but we still got so much more that we're gonna see from you.
We just scratched the surface,
We
Sally.
just scratched the surface.
Exactly. Thank you for this interview too. I really appreciate you, Sally, for having me.
No, my pleasure. Thank you so much, and thank you to everyone who's tuned in. It was me, Sally Sampson, sitting with Adam Elsharkawy. If you've not checked out Labat Newton, I don't know why, but if you haven't, check it out. And Wait, because this guy's gonna be around. We're gonna see much more of him.
Hit music for Egypt. Nile FM.